Hello, storytellers. It's Storytelling Ron. This video is about medieval armored combat. This is a ball mace, and I love this thing made by a guy. So I'm just gonna say this. I wasn't gonna talk about this, but say a couple things here. So I'm a hardcore Christian. I rant, just so you all know, and I hold by everything I say. This mace is made by a pagan, by an openly pagan guy. And he goes to the Ren fairs. I've gone to the Ren fairs because we do demo fighting, and we fight together. And I love this guy. I love his craftsmanship. So I, as a Christian, am I being hypocritical? No. Jesus said, "Love the enemy." Ergo, I have the freedom. To treat everyone with respect and integrity. I have that freedom. Treat everyone with love, including pagans and Satanists. I'm going to still tell them the truth. I'm still going to tell the truth as a Christian. That's the amazing thing about Christianity, one of many. Jesus gave us a freedom, an incredible freedom that you pagans and atheists and secularists lie about. You lie in your Hollywood movies, lie and portray us as oppressed or backwards, or in these lame churches. I just watched a dark, pornographic, gory movie because I'm used to that kind of stuff, and I probably do a comment on it. I actually liked it, but very pornographic and dark and gory, called X. But I'll do another thing on that one. I really liked it, but it showed Christianity as being sort of backwards and stupid. But to me, I'm like, you guys are actually telling the real truth. I'll get to that later. But anyway, my point being, they always depict us as in Hollywood movies as dumb, whatever, white, old fashioned or whatever. That the Christians I have, man, we're all joyful. We're doing whatever the heck we want. We intermingle with everybody. We deal with things. But we see, and we're not confused by all of this. I mean, some of us are, there's a range of us, but there's always plenty of men around who know the truth, and women around who know the truth and who are courageous and strong within the church. And you always have someone to go to, at your church, to talk to be frustrated and be confused. But there's freedom there. There's freedom in us. I just feel freedom. I feel freedom. I don't watch porn. I don't masturbate to porn. That's a freedom. I don't have to sit here 2 or 3 times a day and do the thing on my computer. I don't have to have all this crap on my computer and hide it from my family, my wife and my daughters, like I used to when I was a pagan. Now I'm just so free from that. Not free from the wife. God put all of that, and anyway, that's another video. My point being, I'm free to interact with whoever. Also, my neighbors are gay, like several of them are. And I treat them, guess how I treat them as a Christian? With integrity, with truth. As a neighbor, I treat them as a neighbor. I joke around. That doesn't mean I can't tell them the truth. If they ever ask me, they do know I'm right-wing Christian or whatever. I live in Hollywood, okay? I don't know if all of them know, but some of them know. But we've even had neighborhood watch get-togethers, or whatever, to talk about things. And the leader is a gay guy, and whatever, nice guy, whatever. I mean, it's changing. I've been here 20, 30 years, and there's more and more gay people moving into the area. So I'm a little like, I just wish there would be more families. Just it's not even a religious thing. It's more of I just wish there would be more kids and more families, more younger people coming in who build a society. But whatever, I'm not going to go there. Today's actually what video is about combat, but the freedom I have here, and this thing, I just love this thing. And I tell the guy, and I'm trying to help the guy, for other people buying his stuff. So, the other fighters. And today we're having a big meet of 20 dudes, and I'm pretty excited about that. I'm the oldest. I will be the oldest dude there, fighting in armor. And but another thing too about me, whatever, bragging or showing off my armor stuff and fighting. I just want, you all to know I'm a Christian. I don't want to. I am absolutely not going to fight you or anyone. I'm not going to use this on anyone because, well, one, I'm a Christian, and two, I want to come home at night. I want to come. I have a very comfortable couch, very comfortable bed, very comfortable home, very comfortable with my wife. I want to come home at night. I do not want to go to jail or run away and stress out because I hurt somebody. That is the worst thing I'm not going to, I am self-aware of that. I'm never going to hit anybody, hurt anybody because because I don't want to hurt anyone, but I'm getting down to the base bolts and nuts of if there was someone really bad, I do not want to, homeless person or whatever. Now, if someone was hurting somebody, I'm gonna have to do it. But I understand the price. But I'm certainly not going to jump on someone because we're arguing, or whatever. I'm just gonna, or they're trying to be a man, like trying to show, over, macho me, and I'm like, you win, you have it. You. I'm going home. I'm relaxing. All right, this is a video about combat, by the way. But anyway, as a Christian, I'm free. I'm free from any of that stuff. And when I go to the combat things or whatever, and there's young guys there, I really be nice to them. I try to show them as a veteran, how you doing? Are you dumb enough to do this sport like I am? I try to just be silly with them so that it'll loosen them up and realize, I'm there for them. And I really am. I want to beat the crap out of them, but I don't want to injure them. I don't want to hurt them, and I don't want them to hurt me. But I do want us at the end to have bruises and pains and the sweat and joy of it, a little bit of blood coming out of our lip or whatever. I do want that. I don't want to do cheap shots on anyone. That kind of thing. So, it's a wonderful thing to be joyful. You should try it. It's really great. Hopefully today will be good, and won't be any injuries, and it'll be a good day. We'll see. Pray to the Lord, and you never know. But anyway, so let's move on to combat. Finally, after all my drifting again on YouTube, which is the worst thing to do. So I got this little adventure here. I don't think the music's playing. I don't hear it. No. Okay. So I played with some kids, and there's a dad and the son and the daughter, and they fought this dragon. Yes, you can have dragons in this game. And the village people worshipped it. And this is the village down here. And this is like a one-shot I did. And I usually use this over and over. I should make more of them in the Dark Ages. I'm trying to start a Dark Ages on Wednesdays so I can build out this world better. So if any of you want to join in, Wednesdays 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you're on the East Coast, it really works for you. I like the 4 to 6 p.m. because then after that the wife gets home from her work, and so I went the nights with the wife. But 4 to 6 is great. Anyway, so this is the village, and they go deal with the. You always want to, in my game, you always want to kind of get, especially for new players, you want to get them into role-playing first, not combat. Do role-playing. Make sure that they, oh my gosh, I have to evangelize, so when they come into this village, they had to talk to these people, and the people are already pagan, and we worship the dragon, and we don't like this church. We burnt it down because this guy told us to. What's this guy's name? Mazraf told him to. And he's sort of the one that, and keep it simple. Like what is their worship? Well, they give an offerings to Mazraf, who gives it to the dragon and keeps the village from being attacked by the dragon. Well, who's the dragon? Well, the dragon attacked the mines and took out the miners that were there before. So the village lives in fear now. And so he's got them to give him offerings so he can go appease the dragon. So the dragon will attack them no further. That, it's kind of that simple. And they don't want to worship a Christian God because, the church, we had to burn Mazraf told us to burn the church down, because the dragon showed up, after you built a church. So we burned it down, and the priest died by the dragon because he went to go confront the dragon or go, repel it, but the dragon just ate him. Which again, I don't know if I'm saying again, but you should have Christian failures. There should be failures in the game, even when they pray and do blessings. I don't like Christians thinking, oh, we get what we want every time because of God. No, we don't get everything all the time because of God. God gets everything all the time because of God. We don't. Our prayers will be answered according to God, not according to us. So even when you use, if in this game you have blessings, you have prayer, you have heal, you have all that. That doesn't mean that's the will of God, but it's you using your faith and these blessings to try to heal somebody, or bless them and try to accomplish things. But I have there's no theological issue here with you using blessings, prayer, hope and it fails. I have no issue with that, and neither should you. In our lives and in this life and in the missionaries in the medieval past failed over and over and over. But in that failure, they kept trying and Christianized Europe. But again, Europe still had plenty of pagans throughout history. This is 6th, 7th century. I'm going to be doing a 14th century one soon. That one was super dark. That's when the witches allied themselves with Satan. Anyway, so in this, you got to role play. Figure out a simple pagan dichotomy, whatever thing that the people have fallen for. Usually there's an oppressor, some sort of witch or sorcerer, or, guy, and that sort of investigation. But you can also do like crime, like bandits running sort of a pagan thing or offering somewhere else. It's sort of, rinse and repeat and do over again. And in the Dark Ages book, there's a little section there to roll off and give yourself some ideas, sort of get the pistons firing, so that you can come up with your own goofy pagan thing. So this is the mines, and I said, this is them traveling up, and obviously you could do a forest encounter here with some pagan ambushers. Then the bridge, a little tricky there. This is a trap where, it's hidden, and then they realize, oh, let's just go around this way, and then that's when they fall in the pit. And the pit, you can roll secretly or have them roll they're aware to see if they see it. If they don't, just do a D6 fall, D6 spikes as far as damage. They get the armor save. They can get an aggression aware resist, like a 12, beat a 12, and then they don't fall in, or they only take half damage, or they something simple like that. You can use a 12 aware to see if they spot it. If they look for it, they find it, right? Is there a trap here? We look around. Okay, you see, you don't have to roll it if they say they're going to look for it. If they don't look for it, just see if they notice it. And you can do all kinds of trap like this. And these pieces, by the way, and these are, small rocks, but I made them bigger for the VTT, virtual tabletop. But you can do, and I am providing you with all this. I'm providing you with freaking everything. I'm providing you with, so that you can create your own, there's unlimited, what you can do with all of this. And these, in the initial game, these were hidden. And if this is on a table, you can do the same thing. You can, they're hidden, and then as soon as they go down, you reveal this. So this is sort of like their lighting thing, fog of war. I reveal things as they go. And obviously they went all the way down through here. And now what they found was a deer was on this animal altar here, for the dragon, and half of it was eaten. And that was kind of giving them a clue as to what was coming up ahead. This is their cart. This is another deer this year that's already been eaten. There's a little mining area. This is a previous adventure I had on this map. And then this was a previous, horned one, ancient one, or whatever. Part demonic influence and a human encased in this shape. So I try to sort of connect it to reality, at least for this setting. I'm sure I'll do a fantastical setting, like a Lord of the Rings D&D setting for this game system. Still evangelism, still planting churches. I plan on doing that one, but right now I really want to delve into this, and I really want kids and families to delve into Christian missionary history. And so I want you as GMs to look for things in history, and we need to revitalize that. We're erasing that, and that's taken me off because we're erasing or forgetting about our evangelism, our history of Christian evangelism and missionary work, and we don't know how to do it anymore. And that's why I want our RPGs to be a Christian evangelist RPG. Still, I get everything that the other RPGs in D&D have. I get everything. You get everything, but we get Christianity as well. RPGs and the RPG culture, which I have grown up in, has lulled me into stupidity and stupor and not into paganism. And I don't want to do it anymore. I want to treat Christian missionary history more fascinatingly than I do Star Wars wikis, Lord of the Rings wikis, Marvel wikis. I want a wiki on Christian missionary history. Let's start that. And when of you start that, please. So let's go finally into combat. How long have I been talking? 14 minutes. Wow, almost 15. All right, I'm torturing you. Okay, so this is a really good makeup. We're missing the nun to fully fledge this out, but that's okay. Patron lady. a cleric, and a warrior. So, oh, they don't have their stats in here, but that's okay. I have them on this page, I believe. Yeah. So the knight here, the +5 for the sword comes from their aggression, +5. In the new version, I make it you start off with a +4 at the most, instead of the 5. Just FYI. But I let the kids do the old version. +5. The damage is a D10 for a great sword. It can do a parry and it can bleed. If it does 6 damage or more, you'll do a bleed, which is just 1 per turn damage. Vitality is 16 for this guy. Armor save is a D10. He's wearing Brigadine. Warhammer. He's got a Warhammer, but I think he uses the great sword. Warhammer +5, D12 damage. Crushing, which makes the crit 19 or 20, not just a 20. And the E is exhaustive. So if he misses, he takes 1 point of vitality. And for the styles here, they're optional. Like, I don't enforce them, and I don't even enforce it unless I remember. If I forget. So these are like optional. The players should be excited about learning. When the players get really good, they should be the ones sort of implementing the styles. And that kind of makes sense to me, even in real life. You can learn to fight with a weapon, but it's with experience that you start learning I can do this with it. I can do that with it. Or this weapon is effective this way. So you start learning styles even in real life as you progress in the skills of a weapon. So that's this guy. And then Eleanor, patron lady, she only has 4 vitality. I love when women in this game realize they're not men. I love it because then they have to figure out another way. They don't just charge forth like men, like idiots. They got to figure out another way to help her to do things and to stay back. I love this game for that. Every woman that has played this and every girl, 3 girls now, 3 girls now were surprised. Oh, I only have 4. Why? And their aggression is never going to be high. Why? But then they start playing like a woman, like a lady in the game. They start figuring it out. And they become effective. And I've had many women play this, and this is awesome. I'm telling you, you're missing out, stupid pagan RPGs. Anyway, so they all just, so she's aggression is -2, awareness +3. So she does have a +3 crossbow, and she can use that. And she did. Lethal 4 means that if it does 4 points of damage, the person basically has an arrow stuck in them, or like the dagger has been shivved. And so they're at -D4 every turn because they have an actual wound now. If you go beyond -D12 in wounds, because they build up, -D4, -D6, -D8, -D10, -D12. If you go beyond -12, you're basically such a horrible wound, you're going to die. And then you can have bleed as well. But the bleed requires a 6, so in order for it to bleed, you'd have to get higher damage, which you can upgrade as a skill. You can also upgrade it to hit and the damage. I believe in that. Based on my own combat fighting, that those 2 things matter, and you can get better at them with training. Okay, let's go back to Ravio. So the dragon here has an aggression 6, which is really high. So +6 to attack, and they could have skills in it, but I just made them basic. This one has D8 and a D6 damage. That's very rare. That having 2 dice. Normally it's just 1 die. And I have this new setting where if you do get a second die because of your training, if you go that high, if like this guy here decides to train up on this damage here, like this D12, the next one would be a D4, right? So he would get that D12 and a D4, but it's keep the highest. It's not like the brutal number here with D8 plus D6. That's a brutal thing, and that the brutal refers to like giants and dragons and bears, and they'll get the double die. And the D8 is based on like I'm looking at the bite as being like swords. The teeth are like swords, so it'd be that kind of damage. But then they're also brutal. They got a lot of power behind it, so it's a D plus D6. I kind of like same with the claws, same thing. I made a +8 here, which is not correct. It could. Oops. The claws could be. They're going to be D6 because of the aggression, but they could have a +D4 because of skill. So I'll just put that in there. Just I'll probably have to go see what it is in the game, but it should be +6. It should be the aggression, and then if they are better at it, they'll get an upgrade in the die ranks, the D4, D6, D8 kind of thing. And he has pack attack, so that's a +D4 if another dragon is next to him. And this really has more to do with the smaller ones. Secrecy and pounce, and these are again I didn't use them in this game, but those are more I think for smaller ones. Like I think this was a smaller guy, and I made him a little bigger as far as doing damage and stuff. So I didn't really use any of this stuff here. But here's the brute D6, which actually should probably be, if I want to just format this correctly, would be just another bullet point. But these are options again. I put these in here, or you'll see these as options to use to make the creature more interesting, or to take it, if you remember on the fly. And if you don't remember and you just use them like a basic monster, that's fine. Whatever you want to do, you could be a little open to that. So anyway, this thing was sleeping here. It took over the mines, and then this is a destroyed altar from the previous pagan story. So there was a dragon in there, and they came and fought it. So how does this work? Okay. Why am I not selecting him anymore? All right, so initiative. First off, when you encounter something, you could roll awareness. You could roll, if they decide to sneak, they would use... If they decide to sneak, they would use their secrecy here. And if they have a stealth skill, you could use stealth. He might have an awareness, or he's sleeping. I might have a penalty, or make it easier for them to sneak. 12 is the normal number to beat when you do stealth, right? Or anything. Just say 12. 12 is the basic number to beat. So if they rolled, he would be at minus. Oops, let me go back to the sheet here. He'd be at -2 to roll a d20, -2 to try and sneak up to this thing. I think he's wearing a great helm. So in the book, the great helm is -2 to secrecy. So he'd actually be at -4 because of the big old helm, So he probably would not sneak up to the thing. He would just come marching in. And I think they just had a fight. And I have to go replay it. But I want to explain the fighting. Why does it stop selecting? That's really weird. Okay. This has a defense of 15, so it's really fast. It's really, the 15 comes from a 12, 12 being the normal number to hit something, plus his awareness. Okay, so that's the basic thing. So he had a hard time. I believe in the game he had a hard time hitting him. The kid, the boy, and the daughter was shooting her crossbow. She couldn't do anything else to really help him because it's a dragon. Because the patron lady has her strength is in civil society stuff, social stuff. So she couldn't really do anything else besides that. Now the cleric was blessing and healing. So he had blessings and heals. And he had D6 there +5. So he has 5 faith points. Plus he rolls a D6 for every encounter. So let's just say, let me just do that right now for the fun of it. So he would have 8. So he's got 8 total spirit points, right? And you can write it down here if you want. So this is the dad, he wrote it in. He has bless, preach, and protection. So he could do protection on them, and he could do bless during this combat. Now, what does that mean? Well, basically, if he did one bless he blesses the knight one time and gives them a D4 bonus to whatever the next roll is. They're to hit roll, whatever. That's a bless. And how does that look in the game? It's basically the monk going, fight for the Lord. You can do it, Sir Rhyhorn. That's the bless. That's how we do it. That's how we Christians do it. That's a bless. And he has protect. So he could give a protect. Let's say he spends 2 faith points on protecting the knight. So he would give him a D6 3. So that 3 would add to the knight's defense and his regular defense is 14. It's 12 plus 1 awareness, 13, plus his helm, which actually should be 2. So 12, 13, 14. It should be 15. So, and then +2 or +3 from the roll from his protections, because he has protections here. Protection would be the 3. So 15 plus 3 is 18. So this guy would need an 18 to hit him. Now he could also spend a faith point on duration. Okay, so let's say the 3 defense. So the knight has a defense of 18 total now with the protections bless. Then the monk And by the way, there's blessings, and then there's bless, and there's blessings, which covers all of the, protection, bless, heal, and there's a bunch of others. But he could do a duration. So let's say he spends 2 points on the protection, which is, 2 points is, if you go up, it's right. We'll look at the dice down here. 1 point, 2 points, 3 points, 4 points. That's how the faith points work in the game. That's how skills work. That's how everything kind of works. You go up die ranks to improve your skills, and you go up die ranks for everything, for upgrading. Okay, so let's just say he spends 1 die rank on duration. See how long he can get it to last. So he rolls it 3 turns. Yes. So he spent 3 faith points, 2 for the protection, which is going to be +3. It's going to last 3 turns. Brother, the Lord will protect you, and blah blah. That's it. That's how it works. And to me, I really, especially at the beginners, I let it's a free action. Like they can do it, and still do other things if they want, because they're really for us Christians, our spells are magic, and I'm not worried about saying that. I mean, I am, because I'm trying to keep the naming conventions, but it doesn't bother me. Our Christian magic is bless, heal, prayer, blah blah blah. The Holy Spirit in us, protecting us. That's our magic, but it's all the word. It's the word. It's our faith. That's it. We don't need pageantry. We don't need drugs. We don't need potions. We don't need to look, put on makeup and look gothy as witches do. They need all that. The magicians and witches need pageantry and rituals to sell their paganism to the people. Otherwise, people I don't want to do this. I don't want this. Well, let me add perversity to it. Oh, okay, now I want to do it. You know what I mean? They gotta add something ridiculous. Whereas we don't have to add anything to it, except just the word. And so that's what we don't need. No components. None of that. We don't need any of that. We just say it. It's the way it is. Now, I am adding in like relics and stuff, but that's just for the fun of it and kind of historical stuff. But it's it really is the word that's the most important thing, and you don't need anything else. All the other things are optional. We don't even need a cross. Right? We don't need the cross, but we love having the cross. So that's him doing bless or heal. So the knight and the dragon. I made the dragon go first. Why? Because I think the dragon is just faster. He's just going to charge up. Now he has a great sword, so I might even let him. But he's in armor, and the dragon is just. I'm just going to let the dragon go first. Just if he wants to argue with me, like the player, or like I want to go first, I'm like. I'm convinced. Go ahead. You go first then. I got this long sword. I'm going to, if they say something quickly to you, let them. You know what I mean? That's how I use initiative. Even if Eleanor Eleanor has a crossbow, go first. I was ready. I had it loaded. Shoot. Go for it. You know what? If they jump in and say something that makes sense, absolutely let them go first. That's how I do initiative now. I don't even need to roll dice. Now, if there's a little contentiousness between us, then I will do a roll off, an awareness roll off. That's fine. If you want. His aware is 3 and his aware. But anyway, I don't remember who went first, but let's just say the dragon goes first and he has a +6 to hit. And that's really it. You just do, and he needs to beat, and let's just say the guy has a protection. So he needs to beat an 18. 20. Uh-oh. And that's a bite. Look at that bite. Or claws, rather. Which one do I want to do? I'll do the bite. Whatever. Let's not make this too difficult on me. Bite. Let's make it easy on them. Bite. I think the claw is only if they're down. He scrapes them. I'm going to say that. Okay. Just for the fun of it. So 7 damage. Because it's brutal. It's a bite and it's strong. All right. So this guy's armor save is a D10. Let me roll that real quick. D10 save. 6. So he only takes 1. The armor holds. That's good. So the armor holds, but it's like, whoa, so I've had a few players say they don't like and it's experienced ones too. Like they're concerned about the doing damage and then the armor save, because it seems like a lot of dice rolls. I don't, I agree, disagree. I don't really know. I love it though. I love the ups and downs of combat. And it's the same experience I get in actual combat. I have hit so many people or dudes and hit them well and in the right spots, and the armor works. The hit was ineffective, even though it was solid. I could feel it go up my arm. You know what I mean? And some of them I've hit and they worked and they hurt and the person went down. But other times I've hit them solid and it didn't work. So to me, it's the same feeling. And the combat goes quickly though, because every turn you only get one attack, one roll as far as attack actions. Even if you're like super experienced, I interpret that as being, for instance, like this claw here with a plus D4. That's probably him having 2 claws, you know, or doing this. But I only do it if he knocks him down, you know, kind of a thing or whatever. But so that's what that refers to, really, in fighting. Like, so in fighting, a lot of times people will just hit, but what they don't know how to do is return and hit again quickly, you know, to get in a series of. And that's what the plus D4, plus D6, plus D8 refers to on to hit. Okay, all right. So he strikes back. Let me go to this sheet here. There's the kid sheet here. So he's got a +5 here. I'm pretty sure he did have an improvement because it's just the paper, the original paper. Nat 20. Right. So he rolls nat 20. The kids scream, ah, you know, nat 20. He probably had a D4 there as well, but whatever. So he's gonna do double damage, and in the rules I say you get 12 and you roll another 12. I kind of like rolling 2 dice, but I'm gonna go ahead and stick with what I say in the book. So just you get 12 plus this 12, 22. Man. So this guy has 18 vigor, but he's got a D6 save still. And he did it because he did a nat 20. So only 5. What did I say for damage? 22 minus 5 is 17. Ow. This guy is down to 1. Wow. So the game's over, you know. Well, that was a quick explanation. Also, because he took let's just say it was the great. No, I did the Warhammer. Wow. Wow. So he's at minus D12. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. He minus D12. Where am I at here? Okay, Ravio. Minus. So he's at. Let me just open it up here just to write it in here. So he is at. I'm just typing this in here just so you can see. Not only is he at his vigor, which is the same as vitality, same hit points, same thing. I just use vigor and vitality just to be confusing. But vigor is for creatures and bad guys. Okay, so he has a vigor at 1, but he's also at minus D12 because the Warhammer does D12 damage, but it was a crit. So he's at minus D12 for every roll. Not damage, but every for every D20 roll. Okay, so obviously every attack roll, trying to run away. He's broken leg, crushed ribs, whatever it is. It's a minus. The next roll will kill him if he gets a wound. The D12 is a grievous wound. The vigor damage is like, cuts and bruises and exhaustion. That's what the vigor stands for. But when you get a crit and then some other, afflictions or poisons or whatever, you can get a grievous wound or affliction. Same thing to me in the game. They all combine. So if you got like a minus D4 poison affliction and a minus D4 dagger wound, you would then have a minus D6 total because you're poisoned and you got a dagger wound, and you can only take so much before you die. So this thing is pretty much dead. She can shoot her crossbow and probably killing blow, simple enough. The monk can bless them, or whatever. So that's the game right there. So as you can see, the fight can end pretty quickly, and I don't go up much vigor than 30, as in this game. And the armor saves stay within this D6, D8, D10. And the hardest thing to fight, and I did like in my previous video, I had an experience with a new dad GM, his kids. He tried to have them fight some undead Roman soldiers who have an unholy armor save, and that makes them even more defensible and becomes a slog. But it's only a slog because he had a fighter and a knight. He didn't have a monk or a nun to help him counter the unholiness. And a paladin can counter that as well using glory, or a holy weapon. And so he didn't have a good experience with them because you can't fighting sterile. Role-playing fighting is boring. You got to have a story. You got to have a whole build-up to the fight. You got to have a whole role playing session, with them talking and dealing with stuff. And then this one shot here, it's on my, I haven't uploaded it yet. I will though. I'm going to edit down we had some technical difficulties, which took a while. So and I still managed to get them through this whole thing. But I'm going to edit that down and then upload it of this family playing Nick, who plays Mandaraw, and his two kids, daughter and son, played, and the daughter was wonderful in this. So, what am I going? I think I'm done really. So yeah, they role played here, then they moved up to there, and I don't know. I think that's what I was talking about. Anyway, that's it. I mean, I just another me rambling on, babbling, just enjoying myself here. But again, the fighting is sterile. It's boring if you don't have a whole build up of a story. If you just do fighting just to practice this, it's not really the best thing to do. By the way, is for you new people, if you're as a GM, the best thing to do is just do it and make mistakes and say, I'm still working on it, and do that with the players. And also, if you're a new, like a new GM, new Christian playing this, don't explain the rules to your players, to your aunt, to your sister, to your mom, to your daughter, or son. Don't explain the rules. Just give them a character and start playing. And then tell them, just say, the freedom is, tell them, what do you want to do? Anything, just anything. And then you as a GM tell them what to roll. Okay. And then let them get used to it. And they'll start seeing that the basic thing is to, when they do things, the basic bonus is the traits, right? You categorize whatever they do into the traits. Aggression and awareness can both be interchangeable in my view for physical stuff. Whatever seems more fast aggression is fast too. It's whatever seems more perceptive is awareness, especially aiming and, far away stuff and balance and all that. Aggression is more crazy strength and fast in that way. So you as a GM can decide which one, and you can tell, and actually the truth of it is whichever one they have is higher, let them use it, as long as it sort of fits within those two categories. Secrecy, I might change in the second edition. I'm probably going to make that word clever, is when their cleverness, and a player, by the way, had given me that idea. I can't remember who this was, Pete or someone, I'm not sure. But clever is a good way, because it covers not only the secrecy, it covers the technology, which is the version for the apocalypse and the sci-fi. I changed it to that trait to technology. But clever is probably covers both of them, because it's criminal cleverness and technologically clever. You're not an engineer. You're just clever at figuring things out and fixing them and stuff, like a maintenance guy. Spirit, if they do something spiritual. Intellect, if they do anything crafty or intellect or academic or history or whatever. Society is when they talk to people and all that. So that's really what you have them do this stuff. And then these things you can explain to them later. The one thing you do have to explain to them is, when they have their gear, let them know what gear they have, and let them know what they have: weapons, gear, their skills, and then you're going to give them some glory points to upgrade things. So you're going to have to kind of walk them through that, but you should probably walk them through that after you play for a little bit, and reward them with glory points. And then they can raise them. But at the beginning, I would give them a couple glory points maybe, and just see what do you think your character is strong at? What do you think that they like to do? And then when they say that, you as the GM can then add in those little upgrades at the beginning for them to have some free, an extra skill or an extra bonus to their weapon, or maybe increase a trait by 1 point. If it's low. Well, I wouldn't do that. I'll let them do that later. Okay, so these are just some basic things I'm trying to get across. I really want Christian people, non-role-playing game people to engage in this, because it's good fellowship, it's good edification, and it really gets us into the evangelist mindset, which even at my church, we are not, we don't have an evangelist mindset, or maybe we do. I just don't know which group. It was like 10,000 of us there. I don't know which is which groups have them and which don't. And this is a way to do it during a hobby downtime, relaxing time, chill time. Chill time doing this to me is like, whoa, fun. And for a lot of the game too, you're not evangelizing, I get a break from evangelizing the game. You get to fight, you get to encounter monsters and robots and alien creatures. And by the way, aliens in my sci-fi are genetically modified humans and creatures from Earth. So, but we get all of that. We get all the Star Wars, Star Trek aliens as we want. All the killer robots, all the Zerg Tyranid type monsters, in space, all created by the atheist industrial military complex, genetically modifying, going crazy with mad science. So we get all of that. Okay. So we get zombies, mutant wasteland zombies all affected. We get all that. Okay. As Christians, you get it all in this role-playing game. And I've got 3 settings that cover all those. I've got a couple more coming and more. I don't want to stop. I want to keep doing this. I'm just really trying to polish up these 3 first ones here, the trilogy of these 3 Dark Ages, apocalyptic, and sci-fi. Just polish them up, get some good campaigns going so that there's enough there for you guys to start with and then create your own stuff. And by the way, I want contributors, and I want an OGL type of thing. I want you guys to the only thing I want is you to let everyone know where the rules are with the website, the Storytelling Run is your YouTube channel. Like, just give me that kind of credit. But if you want to make your own settings and or even build off of the settings I have, that's fine by me. I'm a Christian, but Christian, creation, conservative, and I'm Calvin-y. So hopefully you're Calvin-ish, elect or whatever. I'm not John Calvin-y. I'm just the elect thing. I'm pretty simple about it all. Reformed Baptist, I think, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Whatever the terminology is. Christian, creation. I definitely not evolution. Creation, conservative, whatever, libertarian, conservative. Definitely not Democrat, not liberal, no, or at least the left. Not woke, not BLM, not LGBT, and Calvin-ish, whatever that means to you. The chosen, the elect. But and also if you're Catholic or Orthodox or whatever, I'm fine. I'm fine with you doing it too. But please, creation. Some conservative. I'm fine because the main. You'll be fine in this game using it as well because, and feel free. And I'm going to do a Catholic one, by the way, in the 14th century. The whole Knights and Templars and versus the witches, satanic. So I'm going to study the Inquisition, and I believe I support the Inquisition. I support the Crusades. I support these type of movements in the church, and the Reform Martin Luther thing too. But whatever. But for Catholics and Orthodox, you can certainly use this game too. Creation science though. But because it's not really about debating theology in this game. It's just about evangelizing, the basic, evangelism and planting churches. So I mean, that's really all it's meant to be. The basic evangelism and planting churches. It's not meant to be a theological dissertation on, paganism or whatever. It's meant to be fun and adventurous. It's just meant to give us the basic stuff in this game. So that's what this is. I love rambling on about this because I just love doing this, and I'm going to keep doing it. And I hope you guys will join me or start up something. If you want to start your own live play, real play or whatever on YouTube or Twitch, I don't know if Twitch is doing it anymore, but on YouTube, if you want to start your own live play, I will help you. Give you what you need. Please let me know. We could use an apocalypse one. Post-apoc, you can do your own Christian sci-fi. I will give you the assets. Whatever you need, I will actually give it to you for free. If you say you're going to put a YouTube channel up and start doing this game, either 3 of those settings right now that I have, and create and you can use my stuff or create your own little setting that, as long as Christian, creation, conservative-ish, libertarian, Calvin-ish, and also men are men and women are women, and men pastors only in the church. Men pastors, that's my pinky. Men pastors only in the church. I think those things I should probably put on there. Those are the things that sort of help discern who we are, this Christian group, in a simplistic way. But the Catholics, you got a problem there. I hear about the Pope's new, supporting of gay marriage or whatever, blessing of gay marriage. I don't know. I don't know the details on that, but maybe I'll come over to our church. All right. In the game of life, roll holy dice.